We're joined today by Andrew Hebert. He is a teacher at MVCI in Winnipeg. Now, you won a special award, and we're going to get around to that in just a little bit. But first of all, we want to get to know you a little bit better. What brought you into the teaching world, and what made you want to become a teacher?
The the fact that I grew up in a family where my dad was a teacher. I was surrounded by good teachers in my family. And in high school, I found that I was really good at helping other people understand various things in different courses. And I just found a lot of joy in being able to communicate something and watch people's eyes light up and help and realize that, wow, they actually understand something. And I sort of given them something that they didn't have before. And yeah, and I think I just internally just sort of realized that God had given me a gift for teaching, and it just seemed to work well, and I love doing it. So I just decided to become a teacher.
What's your absolute favorite thing about being a teacher? Like, as soon as I turned on the camera this morning and saw your background, I knew you were going to be fun.
The absolute favorite thing is watching kids get it and going from the state of being confused to a state of being the light bulb just goes on and they just understand. And then it gets even one step better when they get excited and inspired to sort of race deeper into whatever the topic is. And those are the moments when I feel like, oh, the magic is happening and it's just incredible.
And this is extra exciting because you're teaching subjects that sometimes, I mean, if you're interested in it, it can be awesome. But for some kids, this is actually a challenging part of their education. So you must do some fun things to help them open their eyes and see that light.
Totally. And that's part of the challenge. That's what I like about teaching high level science classes is that it's a challenge to sort of to get them to believe that they can do it, and B, it's worth doing, and C, if they do it, then they can understand so much more about the world and how things work, and actually about how they can be able to help people more with this kind of understanding. And so it's like a challenge that I'm like, okay, accepted.
How has God helped you along this journey and throughout your career?
Oh, I think God has helped me with providing me with the energy, with the compassion when I don't necessarily automatically feel it, and empathy, and provided me with just the ability to have eyes to see what needs to be done, and providing me with inspiration of like, hey, you know what? Let's try this. And when those moments happen in the middle of a class where things aren't working and kids are not understanding, and all of a sudden I just sort of get out of nowhere, which I really believe is just God just sort of gives this to me, an inspiration of like, hey, let's try something else. And then all of a sudden things just start happening and I realize I'm just I'm just a player in a much bigger story. And I am just sort of following along and following sort of the Spirit's leading and watching it all unfurl in front of me. And it's just amazing.
It's got to be beautiful. Now, something else that's beautiful is that you won the Prime Minister's Award for Teaching Excellence in STEM. Now, that is exciting. That's a big award. What was it like when you found out that you would be receiving this award?
So just being nominated for this award is an incredible honor. Like the nomination package for this kind of an award is huge, and teachers don't nominate themselves. So someone else has to come on board and decide that they want to invest, dozens and dozens of hours and coordinate all dozens of people to create a nomination package to say that, hey, you know what, you are really excellent. So that in and of itself I was overwhelmed. I was like so humbled, like, wow, like all these people think that what I'm doing here is actually fantastic. And then to win is absolutely a staggering honor, is just really incredible. Like there were, so many excellent teachers that were nominated and only 15 that received the award. So this is just incredibly humbling. And when I read the bios on the internet of all the different teachers, it's just like incredible to realize like, wow, I'm included in this group of people. I'm still sort of pinching myself and looking around. I'm like, is this really happening? Yeah, it's staggering.
What did the students think when they heard that you had received this award?
Well, they say really amazingly generous things like, couldn't have happened to a better person. You so deserve it. Way to go. I knew you were excellent. Stuff like that, which is really sweet and yeah, very precious.
After 30 years of teaching, what does it feel like? I know you just kind of told me, but to be recognized for that work, I know you seem very humble, but what does it feel like? You worked hard, you dedicated a huge portion of your life to this. How amazing is it now to look back and go, wow, like it's being recognized?
Yeah, the at MBCI, like what teachers get sort of my awards prior to this moment was always sort of the comments that kids would write on the bottom of an exam or the cards that they would give at the end of the year or the end of the semester. And I literally have a wall in my basement, an entire wall where I keep these things. And they're just incredibly precious to me. And to win this kind of an award from sort of an external source, I think is just an incredible validation of what's happening sort of in this MBCI community that I'm working in. Like I spent half my career at the SRSS, and when I transferred from SRSS to MBCI, I was a very good teacher. But MBCI, the community here is just striving for excellence in such a persistent and deliberate way that it has sort of driven me from excellence to now apparently national excellence, to sort of really sort of, and all of us here are just sort of working to push to make excellent education and make it fun and make it interesting and make it relevant and making it sort of rigorous and simultaneously provide some substantial supports to make it happen. And so getting this award feels like a huge validation on not only sort of what I am doing, but also what we're creating here in the science department, but even more broadly, what MBCI is creating amongst this whole culture of learning and trying to, live life well. And yeah, it's just very, very, very affirming and encouraging, and just sort of fans the flames of like, okay, I think we can, what we can do more. We can continue this.
How do you hope to use this moving forward?
So last year I just started a full steam ahead symposium for the very first time, where it's not really a science fair, but it's like an engineer's science fair where kids are challenged to find a problem that is relevant and personal to them, and then pursue that problem, investigate different options, and then to create some sort of a solution that they can bring into the world that is simultaneously effective and beautiful. And so that's the A in the STEM, because it's science, technology, engineering, and math. That's the STEM. And then STEAM is sort of science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And sort of if you have a solution, that's great. But why not make a beautiful solution? And so we started that, and then I think we're going to continue to grow that. So that's one thing for sure that we're going to this war just is going to fan the flames of.
Now, as someone with experience in teaching, and specifically teaching in the science world, for anyone out there that's thinking about maybe getting into teaching, they're at the beginning of their career or they're just starting off school, any advice for them?
I would say definitely if you feel like you have the gift of teaching. And how do you know you have the gift of teaching? You know you have the gift of teaching when people come to you and ask you to explain things, and you've regularly had the opportunity to watch people's eyes light up when they understand things. For those kind of people, I'd say absolutely the population needs you. Some people think that AI is going to take over teaching. And one thing I discovered through COVID and other things is that, you know what, people are inspired by people. People are not inspired by technology or virtual assistants. We get information from virtual assistants and AI, we can learn things, but to be inspired, to have that internal motivation to realize, you know what, I can do this. And I know what this actually means, the significance of it. And so for people who are enthusiastic and have a understanding of science and a love for others and a gift, the world needs people like that. They need more people like that, because kids need to learn from people like that so they can realize that it's fun and it means something, and God's got this cool universe that they get an opportunity to sort of peek into and understand and then play a role in. So Um, if there's any aspiring Christian individuals out there who you're thinking you want to be an educator, it's an amazing place for God to use your gifts, and the world is desperate for deep truth and inspiration.
And you are definitely doing that. Thank you so much for making time, and congratulations on your amazing award.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.